What's up, everybody? This is your boy C Sams, and this is that comic show. You know I got my boy over here, Mano, aka I Am Legend. We back in the building. This is Spiderman not even homecoming. This feels like a homecoming though. This feels like a homecoming. Okay. But it's far from home. It's far from home. We're not even in home no more.
More of an aftermath, but whatever.
Yo. So, for those who are just tuning in, this movie came out last week, Tuesday. So we waited, gave y'all almost a week to go see it. So we shouldn't even need to tell you that it's gonna be spoiler heavy. We shouldn't even need to tell you that, but we're gonna tell you that anyway. Spoiler heavy. We're gonna get into everything. We're gonna tell you our pros. We're gonna tell you our cons. We're gonna tell you some speculations.
We don't use the word cons.
Oh yeah, we can't use the words cons.
Things we wish we would have seen, or like
things we wish we would have seen. That's a little bit longer than cons though.
Yeah, well, cons is too negative.
Yeah, it is. You can't get negative anymore with Marvel. Like at this point, like you could only ask for things that you could have saw but you didn't get to see. That's about it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so that works out. So let's get into the things that we wish we could have seen.
Oh, starting off there?
Yeah, let's start off there. Let's get that out of the way.
I didn't really have anything. I think it actually gave me more than what I expected. I didn't really have a lot of faults with this one.
Okay.
What about you? Maybe I could jump off of you because you said you had two things.
I had two things. So the one thing I had that is going to be a problem for me for the rest of the time I'm watching Marvel movies. No Stan Lee. That was my thing. Like,
and I was actually looking for like a poster or something. I think they're gonna show it there, but
I saw nothing.
Yeah.
I was looking hard too. I was trying to see if there was gonna be at least a poster or at least like a news reporter. You see him talking to a news reporter or something like that, where you don't actually hear him, but you just kind of see him. I was thinking like that, but nah, no more Stan Lee. These Stan Lee cameos are really done, yo.
That was the first one, yeah.
I mean, if you want to think about Dark Phoenix was actually the first one.
All right, so what was your second one?
Okay, my second one.
What was your second one?
All right, my second one was, now Tony Stark is dead. We know that. Tony Stark is dead. So, in a way, I was hoping that this movie wouldn't be so heavy.
Tony Stark heavy?
Yeah, and in a way it was, but then at the end it was like, a lot of this was based off of Tony Stark. So this one is actually more of things I wanted to see less, and I wanted to see more of, Tom Holland.
So pretty much you got too much Tony Stark in the film, and it kind of took you away from the film.
It didn't take me away from the film because it all made sense.
Yeah.
When you look at Mysterio's motivation, when you look at Peter Parker's motivation, and Tony was the center of it, it made sense. I just didn't want it to be so heavy-handed, I guess.
I understand. Well, with this character, Tony Stark introduced us to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Even in Homecoming, Tony Stark was in Homecoming. The villain in Homecoming was because of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And I think the world that Marvel built is Tony Stark centric, whatever. So
everything has to come through him.
Yeah. So I mean, I understood. I like the little thing in the beginning where the school had the little memoriam of Tony Stark and the other Avengers that passed away. Yeah. I thought it was a little heavy as well, but I didn't mind it. I understood. I understood where it was coming from.
Same thing. Yeah. Same thing. Like, I could flip it and say how I enjoyed that. The fact that they made Tony such a centerpiece in everything, because at the end of the day, this is a different Spider-Man. It's a totally different story. Yeah. So we don't got an Uncle Ben.
Funny,
none of that.
And another thing was Tony Starkish is we got to see the Spider-Man that Tony wanted from Peter Parker in the beginning. Tony always wanted Peter Parker just to be a kid. In Homecoming, Peter Parker didn't want to be a kid. Like, he gave away all his friends and his time with his friends to become a superhero. This one's they got the reversal. He finally was a superhero. He's seen the consequences of it. He was like, I just want to be a regular kid now.
And it's too late. You an Avenger.
Exactly.
He already made him an Avenger. It's over.
Exactly.
Like your childhood is finished. So in a way.
Yeah, I felt bad for him for that, but it made sense.
Yeah,
I liked it.
It did. As far as like the runtime of the movie, as far as everything. How
long was that movie?
The movie was about it said it was about 2 hours and like 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
2 hours, 10 minutes. It was like a strong 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it was the scenes was just boom, 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 boom. You really didn't notice it. Like, so I mean, other than those two things, those were the only things I wish I would have saw more of and less of.
Okay.
So we could go right into the pros.
Actually, yeah, now we talking. I got plenty of those.
Oh, okay. Let's get it.
Okay, well, actually, before I start, I thought I was going to mention that one of the cons that you have, or negatives you have, was the romance in the film. I thought that would have been your, like, yo, it's too much.
Nah, not even.
We was talking to pre-production, and I'm thinking, like, yo, he's not going to like the movie because of that.
Not
even.
As
you know, his hatred for Pepper Potts and Tony's relationship.
Well, yes.
But I figured they...
This one was more, to me, this felt more organic. Like, yeah, he's feeling her, because at the end of the movie, of Homecoming, you know, she gave him that look, and they had like a little thing going on, so I was like, I bet. I could see them going into that, and what made it even better was when Ned and Betty got together, and they got together just for the trip, and they broke up just for the trip. I thought that was great.
And I gotta tell you, that happened so many times. These school trips, I was like, yo, that makes sense.
Yeah, like you hook up with someone, your boyfriend or girlfriend, when the trip is over, like, we broke up. We just didn't work out, and like that happens all the time.
Exactly. So
that makes sense.
Okay.
But even the whole. Like Zendaya and well MJ and Peter getting together and everything like that. All of that.
I actually like the relationship.
Yeah, I like the relationship.
The MJ in this universe is very weird, and somehow it works with him. I don't know.
I like this MJ better than the original MJ, Kristen Dunst.
Let's talk about it. So we have Kirsten Dunst as that MJ. Then we have Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
And now we got this new MJ.
I like this new MJ.
Like this one better than both of them.
Well, Gwen Stacy, I actually like Gwen Stacy.
I was gonna say Gwen Stacy.
I like Gwen Stacy. Yeah. I like the way she, what's her name? Emma Stone. The way she portrayed the character. I really like how she did that.
I like Emma Stone. Maybe that's
why me too.
But you know what? I like how they say, okay, this is our new MJ.
Yeah. For
the Spider-Man universe, and this is it. Like we're going all the way with it.
This is where we're going with it. I'm cool with it because she, like, in a way, This is not a con, or this is not something I wish I would have saw. But in a way it is. Okay. So there was a lot of theories saying that she was the daughter of Nick Fury. And they were saying, like, you know, she always had her hair down to the side, always covering her eye. She's very, you know, the conspiracy theorists, all that stuff. So she was really the daughter of Nick Fury. Okay. That's what they were saying, and you know, they didn't hint towards it. Even though I thought that, all right, this is it, this is the moment. Yeah. It never came. So I was like, dang. But you know, then again, it didn't bother me.
Because she's very observant. Like
yes,
Nick Fury.
Exactly.
I understand what you're saying.
So I thought that that's where they were gonna go, but they made everything made sense with her character. She was still she likes Peter, and she's kind of quirky. But then you have that dude Brendan. He was around, and he was a douche.
Oh man, let's talk about the beginning. I like how they even explained in the
the opening scene. Opening scene was hilarious, yo.
How people they call it blip after the transformation.
Blip.
So people got blip. They came back. Some are older because that. When they showed like a little scrawny Asian kid, and now he's all grown up, I'm like, okay.
And then the scene where you saw them in the band, you see the band, and they all disappearing in the crowd, and then they played a basketball game, and then they just pop up. It's like they made it. They made it. They showed it from a kid's perspective. What it would have been like being in this whole blip. Even though the Avengers are dealing with a real universal issue, the kids just was like, oh, it was a blip. You know, they were gone 1 minute, we're back the next. And then the dude was like, yo, my younger brother is now my older brother. It's insane. Like, how would that, yo?
I wish we explored more of that. I know they're probably gonna do it with other films, but I guess this is probably gonna be the only series where they really explore it. I think that he's the only kid, really. Yeah. So, but I like even when Flash was on the plane and he was talking about y'all could drink now. He's like, nah, you got blipped, so technically you're still 16. And like it's like the whole dynamics on how they go from that, like how they tell people, like
exactly, like to see it from a kid's perspective. It's they did it perfectly. Like this movie is seeing things from a kid's perspective, seeing Spider-Man as a kid being Spider-Man, and that's something that we never got from the other two films. They were grown men acting like kids. We have kids acting like kids.
And then you also hear like other stories of like the adults of what they go through, like the teacher's wife who lies, says she died. They're ran off with another man.
It's like, dang, that's some hard stuff, yo. So, but it was cool.
Yeah, definitely cool. I hope it, like in the Disney Plus series they explore a lot of that.
They go into that some more. That might be yo, you have endless stories to tell, like between those 5 years.
Definitely.
Hey, you can even do Hawkeye, like between those 5 years when he finally transitioned into Ronin. You know, you can talk about all that stuff. So like, what about let's go right into the villain, man. Mysterio,
man. I posted like the best. Well, it was between him and Dr. Ock as the best Spider-Man villain that we've seen on screen. I still like Dr. Ock, but I like the way they did Mysterio. Like when we watching trailer, we all know that Mysterio was the villain, and we kind of figured that the elementals weren't gonna be real.
Yeah.
But when the whole reveal and how they did it with the drones and stuff was amazing. Like I did not expect it. The way they used the drones, even when he was fighting that whole fight scene, one of the best visual fight scenes we've seen in the MCU to date. Like it was amazing.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
It's like that's how we pictured Mysterio reading the comic books.
Yeah,
exactly like that.
So for those who are wondering, Mysterio is a character from the Spider-Man comic books and everything. He's a failed magician, and all he does is he creates illusions. And the first time we meet him, like from the comic books, he's in like a circus, and he's just trying to have this illusion, but he keeps messing up. He keeps failing at it, and then he works on it, and then he goes into a life of crime and all that stuff. So basically, the way that they introduced this Mysterio, he was fooling everybody, even Nick Fury. Well, we'll get into that a little later.
And that was a perfect setup too.
Perfect setup.
Yeah.
But he was fooling everybody like, yo, I'm from a different dimension. And this is what happened on my world.
And he even fooled us because we thought like, okay, we know there's a multiverse. We just seen it in Spider-Man into
into the
so we was expecting, and even I think there's a storyline with another Mysterio coming from a different Earth, whatever. But still, I'm thinking like, okay, it's possible.
It's possible.
It makes sense.
The snap opened it up. Yep. So everything lined up perfectly for us to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And you see the elementals, we're like, all right. Even in the trailer, I was like, all right, so maybe he's controlling the elementals. Maybe the elementals are real, they're doing their thing, but he's controlling it somehow. That's what Mysterio is doing.
Well, so we're doing a lot of looking at the Easter eggs. I know, like I think on one part of the trailer, there's like a boat that says like AP, whatever. It's like the comic book number for Hydro Man, whatever.
Right.
So he's thinking like, okay, maybe these could be real, but when we know that, like you say, when you understand Mysterio characters, like, nah, this is a production. I like the way Jake I don't want to say his last name.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Played the character because he played it just like a movie star, and that's pretty much what he is. He's just like a star, pretty much.
And they did it perfect to where Spider-Man's like, yo, I can't do this. I can't be the Iron Man that everybody's looking for me to be. Like, I can't do it. So, you know, maybe you're the one that's ready to be Iron Man. You're the one that's a hero. You got it all. So when he took down Edith and gave it to him, I was like, oh snap.
That's when I seen like, okay, I see where this is going now.
Yeah, now I see
the whole plan. Because when I'm thinking like, okay, this guy, maybe he just want fame and recognition. But then when you see him give him the glasses, I'm like, oh, okay. He's trying to.
That's what he's trying to do.
And
then he had everybody, and then they showed the guy from the first Iron Man movie, and it made sense. Like he resents Tony Stark because he wasn't able to build what Obadiah Stane wanted to make. So that makes sense why he does it. Why he's mad at him.
And it was very childish or whatever, but I like the whole thing where he's at the bar standing up and showing everybody's like the whole background, pretty much telling the audience,
like,
hey, this is what happened, this is our whole plan, even though the whole people knew where they already knew, but thank you for that.
Thank you for telling us. But that was good though, because like I was like, all right, well, this is who Mysterio is. He's an actor.
Exactly.
Putting on a production. and look what he did. He fooled all these other people. So why not?
And that was like a scene like right before, like when everybody finished production, everybody finished this, shot the last scene of the day or whatever. He's like, you know what, guys, we did this, and that's the way he laid it out.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So probably the best villain.
For Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man villain? Yeah, definitely the best villain in Spider-Man. I would go in further to say.
Top 5 in the MCU?
Top 5 villain in the MCU? Man.
I have to think about it.
I have to scale back Thanos because he takes up 5 slots off the rip. Off the rip, Thanos takes off 5 slots. So if I scale it back,
you scale that back.
I would say maybe top 5.
Thanos, Killmonger. People like Loki.
Look, you gotta like Loki, man. He was the
I'm
first.
not a Loki fan. Okay.
Yeah, I could put him in that. I could put him in that spot.
We'll see.
I could put him in that spot. That's another list for another day. Yo. Oh man. So the illusions.
Yeah.
So I thought that his illusion, and for them to go back to Civil War about Barf, with Tony Stark and everything with Barf.
He named it Barf.
That was great.
How? Like,
that was great.
Like that's just good writing.
That's great
that's
writing,
just good writing.
Because you put it all back to it. Like, oh, so he wasn't the one who did. And it makes sense. Like, Tony, that's Tony Stark. Like, he'll work with other people, get it up, and he'll be like, all right, he'll make the changes to it to make it work better, and then he'll just claim
it a stupid name.
Give it a stupid name and keep it moving. Because that's all he did. He tinkers, he does, that's what it. And then it makes Jake's, well, his name was Blake, I think, in the movie. Beck, yeah. So it made sense for Beck to be that mad at Tony for what he did, and it just goes back to everybody who Tony Stark faced. Like Obadiah, he thought that Tony was taking over his spot. Whiplash for his dad killing his dad.
I watch that movie. I haven't watched that movie. I don't know who that
is. Killian, he mad because he left because Tony Stark left him on the roof. Like all of these people were slighted. Even Voltron. Voltron was mad because Tony told me this, and he was really. So Tony is the centerpiece really of the universe. Like all the issues came from Tony. He was the first movie. All the issues came from Tony. It came from his bloodline.
Vision said it in Civil War. Like as soon as you introduce yourself,
everything started going wrong. It's your fault.
You introduce chaos into this.
That's it. Even when he's dead, and just Edith. Edith is acronym, Even dead, I'm the hero. I'm the hero. It's like, that's just your ego, It's crazy, But that's just what it is, man. But yeah, back to the illusions though. The illusions was especially when
I can't even tell what was what.
I couldn't tell what was what. Like when Peter came to Nick, he was like, this is what I did. I messed up. We got to go and get it. And I don't know what part of that was the illusion to what part was real. Exactly. And then until he got hit with that train.
I didn't even know if that was like the real Nick Fury anytime.
I don't even know. It was just so, it was just so insane, And even the fight, And then he had to learn to finally use his spider sense, The tingle,
Let's talk about that. Once again, good writing, man.
Go ahead.
Like, they don't call it a spidey sense.
Yeah, it's just tingle.
Peter Tingle.
Yeah, Peter Tingle.
I like how they played it because like in the beginning you see him like the aunt throws a banana at him and he couldn't catch it, and then Nick Fury was in the room and he didn't sense it.
Yep.
And you're thinking like, we know he got spider sense.
Yeah.
He used the spider sense all through Infinity War. Then you realize why he don't use the spider sense anymore.
That's the thing though. Also, so I was thinking about that. In Infinity War, we first see his spider sense with his hair stands up. Yeah. So when we see that, we're like, I bet. He knows something is up, but then
even when the Guardians came, when they went to Titan,
I'm trying to say something's coming. Yeah,
he felt something coming.
So it's like something that he feels, but he doesn't know how to control it.
Well, I guess because they didn't start with giving him all his powers. So I think it's something that was growing on him.
So
well, actually no, in Civil War he had it too because he said, "Hey, I think I sent something."
Oh yeah. So, true.
So it looked like it's growing, but it looked like it stopped, and I think it stopped because of the Infinity War mishap or whatever.
I think so. Because at the end, also like if you even, because like in Civil War, we're told that Spider-Man was only Spider-Man for 6 months.
Yeah.
So he literally just got his power. In Civil War, between Civil War and Infinity War, that was like a 2-year stretch. So in between that, he's only been Spider-Man, or he's only had his power for about 2 years. Yeah. He hasn't been Spider-Man for those 2 years. So it's like, where do you, like, when does he have time to develop all these powers if he's not actively using it?
Exactly.
So, again, brilliant writing, like, and that's when he finally learned how to use it at the very end.
And then he learns, I guess he learns how to stop using it, or maybe it's like a mental block in his head, because the last thing he felt before he, burned away, whatever, decimated, was the spider sense.
That was the last thing.
And so since then he hasn't used it. That's with the banana and the things like that. So it made sense. They're writing.
All of that made sense, and that's what I loved about the movie. Like, because this movie was for him to learn how to use his spider sense, because he didn't know what was real and what was fake. So when he was looking at Beck, and then he was like, boom, and he caught him like that. Man. I was like, yo, you did it.
Even that last scene where it just like the picture goes black, whatever. He's just in the room, whatever. And he's just looking for Beck and just fighting the Jones at the same time.
Oh, that was insane. Yo, that was insane. Yo. That was insane. That was Yo, I was like, yo, Marvel, yo, where is the ceiling, yo? Where is the ceiling? Like, they literally did that perfect. Like, I can imagine everything, and this is how I wanted them to do Mysterio. I wanted them to do Mysterio just like this. Like, I wanted it to be connected to something to do with technology. I wanted it to be just like that, and they did not.
I guess I'm kind of glad they waited for Mysterio to happen now. I think they have enough visual effects right now
to pull that off.
Exactly. The whole anytime Mysterio and Spider-Man was fighting, it's great.
It was great, man.
It's great.
So, man, what other great scenes? I mean, there's a lot of great scenes.
A lot of great scenes, but I think the big one.
Yeah, let's go right into it, man.
Let's go. This what made the movie for me was the mid-credit scene. Like that.
Everybody saying that, yo. Everybody saying the mid-credit scene was it, yo. That made the movie, yo.
Like it was one movie. At first, when it ended, I'm like, okay, it was good. It was good. Right there in the middle of the MCU territory, whatever. But that end credit scene, like, it changed everything.
So, Spider-Man swinging with MJ, they swinging on this date and everything like that, dropped her off and everything, and he's in the middle of Times Square. So you would think that people would be crowding him and everything like that, but you know, you didn't get that. So, whatever.
Like, oh, it's Spider-Man. He's cool.
Yeah. So that's all happening. She leaves, and then, you know, the whole thing come on the screen, and I'm like, oh, there's another part to this. So I'm sitting there watching, like, all right, what's Beck talking about?
Oh, actually not. They showed Jay Jonah first.
Oh wit, did they?
Yeah, they showed Jay Jonah first, and then when you seen the actor that played Jay Jonah, he's like, all right, what's going on here? Like, like the whole crowd erupted after that.
The whole world, like, for me, my whole world was turned upside down when I saw Jay Jonah. And I said to myself, you know what? We're going to have Jay Jonah. And Amazing Spider-Man was smart because they stood away from that. They did not bring back another Jay Jonah. They didn't recast him. Because how can you recast a perfect role given to a perfect guy? Like, you can't do Iron Man again. You can't do Wolverine proper again. You can't do Captain America again. Like, those guys are synonymous with that role. That's what Jay Jonah was. He was the original one,
yes, right? Exactly. And then he came out like a type of like an InfoWars, like how Adam Jones do it.
Yeah.
So you know, a little crazy, whatever.
And that was great because I was like, yo, he's older. He has a bald head, and he still had the gray hair and the brown hair and everything like that. But he just had the baldy. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, that means you're an older version.
Possibly. You don't know.
Man. When I saw that, I was like, yo. Marvel just took Spider-Man and said, "Yo, hold that, hold that."
Like, now you know, Endgame was it? Here you go.
Here you go.
So it's like a callback of what Beck's partner, well, not partner, whatever guy was doing when he was downloading the stuff on the computer before he left. He's like, okay, is he gonna get caught? Where's he going? What's he downloading?
Because we don't know. And that's another thing too. The Tinkerer from the first movie, he's still at large. He has all that information too. So he's gone. He's still at large. And we still have Vulture. Vulture is still around. He's in jail. Scorpio, he's gonna be coming soon. He's in jail. And that's another question. Man, should we even go into specs? Nah, let's finish.
Let's finish. Alright, so for the mid-credit, they actually show the. Well, they first they played it off. They like his name is Pete, and then it cuts off. I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm over here. Like,
I was nervous.
That's close. And then it came back on.
I was like, no.
And then they showed the picture of it.
I was like, no.
Yo, that's probably the best end credit scenes in the MCU that we ever seen.
That's probably one of the best top three end credit scenes for the MCU. Well, mid credit scenes for the MCU, because like now it's like. They literally shifted everything that was surrounding Iron Man to now Spider-Man. Because now Spider-Man is now exposed. Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
And everybody expected him to be the next Iron Man. And then they seen this on screen. It's like, oh, the new leader of Avengers. That was one of the questions. Like, are you going to be the new leader of Avengers?
And now they're saying that this is what he did. He killed all these people. And they set it up nice. And another thing I saw that was, and this is why I said my not anger, but you know, with the whole Iron Man, too much Iron Man, this is why I also liked it. Because now, if you look at the parallel between the two characters, Iron Man and Spider-Man, in the first Iron Man movie, he came out and said, yo, I am Iron Man. He exposed himself to everybody. In this movie, the same thing happened to Spider-Man, just in the flip side way. So they exposed him as a villain. And now you got J. Jonah Jameson on your butt. Now he's gonna be even more like, yo, we gotta get this dude. And I'm just like, yo, where do we go from here?
They set it up nicely.
Like, yo, I can't wait for the next Spider-Man movie because like now there's gonna be like, oh, yo, how does he live? How does he live? How does Aunt May live?
School?
Does he still go to school? Is he still gonna be with the rest of his friends? Is his friends gonna be like, yo, we with you? We know you didn't do that. You know, are they gonna come out? Then all the villains like, yo, if this is who Spider-Man is, and this is supposed to be the next Tony Stark or Iron Man, we gotta get rid of him.
And
now.
I forgot the whole Homecoming end credit scene where the Scorpion was saying, "Hey, I heard you know who Spider-Man is."
That's it. That's it. Now they know. So it's like, yo, like where do you go from here now? Like this is where they're going.
Not living in Queens much longer.
Not even, yo. Not even. But hey, yo, at the end of the day, Nick Fury is his dude, but is he his dude? So Nick Fury and Maria Hill.
Yeah, so I'm glad I stayed to watch that credit because I was so hyped about the mid-credit scene, almost left. But that actually
still 10 years later, still a rookie, yo. God.
That end credit scene explained a lot because Nick Fury's making a lot of mistakes that Nick Fury don't make.
Exactly.
And then even when we go back to that scene where Spider-Man was asking like, yo, where's Thor? Where's this person? Where's Captain Marvel? And he's like, yo, don't invoke Captain Marvel's name. Now it makes sense. It's like, yo.
So Nick Fury was a Skrull. The entire time it was the same guy. I forgot his name from the
Talos, I think.
Yeah, I guess from Captain Marvel's movie. So he's there, masquerading as Nick Fury
making a bunch of mistakes.
Making a bunch of mistakes. Now, my question was, Nick Fury he wakes up at the end credit scene. Nick Fury wakes up and he's on a spaceship with a whole bunch of Skrulls. So
let's get into speculations.
All right, let's go right into it. Speculations. All right, man. Let's go into it.
You want to start with?
I'll start.
Yeah, I heard you got a good one.
All right, so one of the speculations I got, based on the fact that we saw a Skrull, we saw the two Skrulls and everything like that masquerading. My whole thing is how long? Because now, the 90s we saw the Skrulls and they left. But if they've been working with S.H.I.E.L.D. this entire time, how long have they been working with S.H.I.E.L.D.? Or have they been working with S.H.I.E.L.D. as far as the time that we saw them? In just this one scene with Spider-Man and Nick Fury was still doing his whole thing, or were they masquerading as S.H.I.E.L.D. during that 5-year period, or was it the entire length of the MCU? The Skrulls was there from the beginning. And then the next question is, who's who?
Okay.
Who's a Skrull or who's not?
I don't know who's who, because after the decimation, we seen Agent Hill and
they both faded away.
Both faded away. They came back. Nick Fury was at the funeral, and he told Spider-Man, "Hey, I met you at the funeral, but we didn't get to talk." So
was that
I guess that was a Skrull.
That was a Skrull. So it's like there's so much.
I don't know.
There's so many different ways they could go with it. Like I think that there were some Skrulls that have been embedded the entire time, and there was a scene in the movie where they said we have some sleeper cells. The Kree has sleeper cells. That's on Earth still. So who are the sleeper cells? I think Marvel is setting up for that secret invasion storyline. They're setting it all up.
It's definitely gonna be a secret invasion. I can see that. I can see that as being the next big Endgame type of event.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be the next one, the big level, big, huge event. And I think this movie sets it all off.
Definitely.
The movie sets it all off. That's one of my speculations. What about you?
Alright, my speculation. I see Flash Thompson becoming a villain, either in the next installment or one after. So if you look closely, when they was on the bus when Spider-Man was using the glasses, you see Flash Thompson texting his mom, trying to figure out what's going on with him,
with his mother.
Why you not responding, stuff like that. And then when you get to the airport scene at the end of the movie, his butler or whatever came to pick him up, and he was like, "Yo, my parents couldn't come," and they just cut off. So when you get two scenes like that and they cut off away real quick, it's looking like they dropping seeds. They dropping seeds of what's gonna happen next. Like I said, good writing. So
that's great writing. Right.
I don't know if it's gonna be maybe become a Venom type of character for us.
Flash does become Venom.
He does become Venom. And that hatred towards his parents maybe that brings that Venom out of it. I'm not too sure, but I can see him becoming a villain. That's my speculation.
And maybe because of the fact that now that he knows that, well, we could assume that he knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, that's gonna be even more fuel to his fire. Or even maybe they move out to Cali. And if they move out to Cali, that's where Eddie Brock is. Because Eddie Brock, Venom, that's all part of the MCU as well.
Well, we don't know if that Eddie Brock is part of the MCU.
Man.
It's speculations that it could be. We're hoping that it, well, maybe you're hoping that it is.
That was my other speculation.
Okay,
that was my other speculation. My other speculation, along with what you were saying, with Flash, I'm thinking that when in Venom, there was 4 symbiotes. And one of the symbiotes is still out there. I believe that that's what's going to happen.
No way a symbiote look like that in the MCU.
Okay, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Have you seen this amazing designs and stuff they put out?
They're not going to do that.
I'm sorry, I don't like Venom's CGI. It was horrible to me.
Yeah.
To me,
it was alright to me.
You liked it. Yeah,
it was alright.
I didn't like it.
I like it.
So hopefully.
Okay.
Or they update it or something. I don't know. Or they change the rules of it, because I don't even know the rules of the symbiote, to tell you the truth, after that film.
I really don't. But then, I mean, the whole thing is if it bonds to Spider-Man, oh, you know what? Man, even talking just gave me a new thing. What if it latches on to Spider-Man and takes on Spider-Man's characteristics?
The black monkey? What was it? Not the black monkey, Spider Monkey.
Spider Monkey. if it connected on to the Spider Monkey thing.
Spider Monkey outfit, and then...
And then it comes, and then he finally gets it off of him, and then it goes on to Flash. And they could switch it up like that.
I could go with that.
I mean, it's all.
But right now, I don't want those movies to connect in any way.
You don't want them to connect?
Nah.
I see them connecting, bro. I see them connecting. I don't see why not, man.
Nah, I don't see it.
So
I don't know.
What about another speculation?
I don't think I had any. Oh, actually no. Speculation. I think we kind of discussed it with Nick Fury being a Skrull and where Nick Fury is at now in space. So I think they're gearing up to do some type of cosmic level things and pretty much set up the Secret Invasion. Thinking that's where they're headed. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I feel like they can only go there, and based off of what we saw at the end of this movie.
That's where it's going.
Everything is thrown off. Everything's thrown off because we don't know who's been Skrulls. We don't know who's working for the good guys, who's working for the bad guys. We don't know if the Skrulls are all masquerading as good guys, and then they're ready to pounce, knowing that the Avengers are pretty much gone.
And that's one thing about Marvel, because they flipped it on us. Because we thinking the whole time watching Captain Marvel, like, yo, the Skrulls are bad. Like, they always been bad. There's never been a good Skrull.
Right. So and there's still a Super Skrull that's out there that has the powers to do everything, to switch up.
There may be a Super Skrull.
We still gotta see Fantastic Four. That was another thing.
That was my other speculation.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a scene where I seen it was like 1, 2, 3, and it's like a question mark.
All right, that's where I wanted to go.
I'm looking at it like, yo, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's Fantastic Four. I know what that means. That's a 1, 2, 3. Hey, that's 4. Yeah.
So here's my thing, because there's 2 things that I saw from that.
Okay.
One, the Fantastic Four. That's one thing, and another thing, I saw that as being Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Now. Okay. At the end, we were just talking about this, where J. Jonah Jameson coming out. Now, in my mind, I'm looking at J. Jonah Jameson. He's playing the exact same character that was in the first 3 Spider-Man movies. Now, I don't remember a time where you ever had a character, an actor, reprise his role and not be the same actor or character he was 10, 15 years ago. So what I'm thinking is that Spider-Man. What I'm thinking is that Spider-Man, the first 3 Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, that was the original Spider-Man. That was the Spider-Man.
Okay.
I'm thinking that now, 15, 20 years later, we're gonna just jump over Amazing Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man never existed. That's another universe. I like to do, but that's from a different universe. That's a different universe. That's gone. And now this one, we have a new Spider-Man coming up because he's young. Yeah. He always calls May. He doesn't call her Aunt May. He just calls her May. He doesn't. They don't acknowledge his Ben.
Well, they
Ben Parker. With the briefcase.
Yeah.
But that's for us. He never said, "Oh man, I gotta take my Ben Franklin." They never mentioned. They never mentioned. And they've done it. Marvel has done it so brilliantly to me. That they never mentioned the fact that Uncle Ben existed. Uncle Ben was shot. Man, I wish Uncle Ben was here. Man, I wish my parents was here.
Because it was done already. What Marvel do is they seen what was done and they don't do it again. And they do something totally new.
But that's my point. I think that the original Spider-Man is still the original Spider-Man. I think that he's still alive. I think that he's still... No, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
That he's still there. He's still alive. Right?
Okay.
And now you have a new Spider-Man, because you remember, even with Miles Morales, there was still a Peter Parker, and Miles Morales became a Spider-Man.
This is true.
So, and then I'm looking at the costume that Peter Parker was wearing, and that looked like Miles Morales' costume.
So you thinking is a different verse, multiverse type of thing, or are you thinking they're the same universe?
I think they're the same universe. I think there's two Spider-Mans. I think why would you put J. Jonah Jameson as the original J. Jonah Jameson?
There's only one J. Jonah Jameson.
You cannot.
It's like there's only be one Stan Lee. You don't see nobody else doing the cameos.
You're right. But still, you can't have that. You can't have him play that role and not acknowledge the fact that there was another Spider-Man. I think the fourth Spider-Man's coming out.
I think because your theory kind of makes sense, because if you look at in the beginning of the film on that little poster when it was in that event that his aunt was doing, there was a poster of Buzzsaw that was in the Amazing Spider-Man.
No, that was in the first Spider-Man.
The first one. Then there was also
that was Randy Savage,
Crush Hogan, which was in the original one. So both. So I can see what you're saying.
I'm telling you.
I think
I see.
There would have been some mention of it.
That was your mention. You saw J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, I think it would have been some mention by the other characters saying like, well, there was.
Here's the thing too.
And you would see some type of like Oscorp buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
that's. I think maybe your theory is right if there was like a different multiverse type of thing going on.
That would probably work a little bit better, because that's a little bit too much reverse engineering that they would have to do.
Exactly.
But then again, I'm like, yo, Peter Parker is always announcing himself, "Hi, I'm Peter Parker. Hi, I'm Peter Parker." Maybe May and Peter Parker are not Parkers. What if they're not?
Theory's going crazy.
What if they're not Parkers altogether? What if he loved that Peter Parker so much that he wanted to emulate him, that he wanted to be like him, and maybe he's an orphan, and maybe May brought him in, and maybe her name is just coincidentally May, because that can't be his grandmother looking that hot.
No, Aunt May.
She can't be looking that smoking, bro.
That's who can, man. He's only 16, so the aunt could be 30, 35.
Man, but the way they show Aunt May is an old, elderly woman, man.
Yeah, but this is Marvel seeing what they did before.
I get it.
They don't do it again.
I'm telling you, man. I'm putting my stamp on it right now. I guarantee. I don't want to guarantee.
I see a multiverse with the old character like the Tobey Maguire.
I see Tobey Maguire coming back.
Mm-hmm. I see what's the other guy's name?
Andrew Garfield.
I see him coming back, but I think they're gonna do like a.
You gotta make him the 2099 Spider-Man. You gotta make him that. They gotta make him that. They can't make him. He gotta be that. That's his character. That's his character. Let's just wipe off that whole entire thing. I hate what they did. The first movie was great. The second movie was garbage.
I didn't know what happened.
It was garbage. I didn't see it anyway. But that was my major. When I saw J. Jonah Jameson pop up, I was like, and they didn't even make him look like from the Daily Bugle podcast. Yeah. I was like, yo, this makes sense. Like, the Daily Bugle has now gone down because nobody's buying newspapers. So you decided to go into a podcast, and now you're a bald man, you're an old man, and now you're saying, yo, we got to get this menace. Because I remember back in my day, there was another menace that was running around saying that he was Spider-Man, and now we got this new Spider-Man coming up. I can see that. I can see them going in that direction, yo. I can see them going in that direction.
I don't see it. I like the speculation. Yeah. I don't see it. But
here's another.
I like how they infuse old Spider-Man movies into this one.
Yeah, that's what I love. That's what I loved about it. That's why I say, yo, Marvel is taking this to another level.
Definitely.
But here's another thing.
Okay.
So the Ancient One. Remember during the whole fight scene in Avengers, the Ancient One was in the background doing all these different things. They never mentioned Ancient Ones or sorcerers or anything like that ever in the MCU until we saw Endgame. Endgame was telling us, yo, all these people were still there. They were doing their thing. Who to say that there was no Spider-Man that was doing his thing? And then he got overshadowed by all the Avengers and all the talks of all the Avengers. He just got overshadowed. Like, yo, you just a kid in a Spider-Man costume.
I see you making your case.
I'm making my case, man. I'm making my case, y'all.
You leaving out so much things because...
Never mind them things.
Look what happened in Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Those were big time events. I mean, Mary Jane got captured 3 times. I mean, that's going to be on some time.
Nobody cares about Mary Jane. Yo, look, she was a Broadway musical actress and she was dropped and no one cared. All them things are low-level stuff. Everything friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, I understand.
Friendly neighborhood.
Just
Queens. In the neighborhood.
I understand.
Nah?
I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see Marvel doing
wishful thinking, yo. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, there you go.
Wishful thinking.
I mean, your theory will make sense of why we don't see an Oscorp today, because of all the. We found out Oscorp was Green Goblin was Oscorp, whatever.
Yeah.
So they shut down Oscorp, like, yo, no more. You're not doing it anymore. And
maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe Iron Man maybe buried all that stuff. Or maybe Nick Fury buried all that stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe Nick Fury probably got Peter Parker like, yo, Peter, it's time. And he's there like in a cave, in a cage somewhere like, let me loose.
Just FYI.
That's too much.
I didn't like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man, so I don't want to see Tobey Maguire. I'm probably the only one that don't like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man.
We did that Avengers thing in the basement with my boy Rel. Yo, same thing, yo. He hates him, yo.
Yo, he didn't look like Spider-Man. He didn't.
He was a geek. He was a nerd. Yo, I liked him because he was a nerd.
He was 30, man. It's like, yo, he don't look like a teenager. Like, I didn't understand it. Nah. You know what? Matter of fact, nah. I don't want to see Tobey Maguire. I don't want the webs coming up. Nah.
Oh man.
Good, yo. Yo, I'm good, man.
You just shut down the entire thing,
I'm
good. Listen, man. The way I'm looking at it, Marvel wouldn't put. I mean, granted, you can't reprise that role, J. Jonah Jameson.
No, I think he did such an amazing job and looks the part. I think it's like with Nick Fury, Samuel as Nick Fury.
Yeah, you can't.
They made it for Samuel L. Jackson, so if there's no more Samuel L. Jackson, there's not gonna be Nick Fury. I think that's the way they're gonna do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because at first the rumor was that Ice Cube was gonna play J. Jonah Jameson, and I would have been alright with that. Man, if they went, they have to go that they gotta spin
probably
it.
Would have got some backlash.
But you know what? It's kind of like
backlash now that we get
honestly
dumb things.
And I don't like to mention DC and stuff like that. But in Man of Steel, when they had what's his name? Lawrence. Nah, man. Lawrence Fishburne. When Lawrence Fishburne was what's the guy's name?
The reporter.
Something White. Terry White.
Yeah, but
whatever. But that was good.
Yeah, but that's not an iconic role though.
It's not an iconic role, but it's always traditionally played by a Caucasian. Yeah. So he had a black guy play it. So that was a good way of doing it. But again, J. Jonah Jameson, you can't. That's a role that you just cannot. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. So the fact that they put him in the movie, that had me thinking like, oh man, that means they're gonna bring back everybody. That means that the whole number 4, that 4 thing, it could be Fantastic Four, but it also could be, I guess not.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. Yeah, I didn't have any more speculations, honestly. It was really just those two, for me, major speculations. How many Skrulls have been, secret invasions coming? How long they've been in there? Where do we go from here? That was my whole thing, man.
No, I was a little worried about coming into this film because after the Avengers film that comes out that year, the movie of the summer is usually it's a hit or miss pretty much. Like you had Iron Man 3.
Yeah, hated that.
Which you didn't like. I thought it was okay. You had both of the Ant-Mans, and it was
all
right. It was pretty good. It was solid films, but it wasn't great films. This was a great film.
But you know something? Now that I'm thinking about it, Ant-Man and the Wasp, the end credit for that was epic. When he was in the quantum realm and then they all dusted, that solidified Infinity War. Like, okay, Infinity War, this is sticking. This is the reality going forward. So that movie, that end credit was like, everybody was like, oh, it's all happening.
We was all waiting for it, like, yo, it didn't happen. What's going on?
So that means you happened at the same time as you see. And then this movie, it just blew the lid off of it. Like, yo, everything you learned from phase 1 to phase 3, forget about it. Because now we about to bring in everything from before.
Yeah.
You know what? And I had another speculation just came to me. The riff. So the snap.
Okay, yeah.
So they said that they snapped once. That was Thanos. He snapped once. He snapped twice.
Well, Thanos snapped twice. Yeah.
To destroy the stones.
Yeah.
Then Hulk snapped. That's 3. And then Tony snapped. That was 4. Yeah. So they're saying that the stones.
Man, they're trying to show you guys.
And here's the thing. So they did those snaps, and each time it emits a gamma burst, a radiation throughout the entire universe. That's how you got your X-Men.
Oh, definitely.
That's how you introduce your X-Men, yo.
Definitely.
I was looking into that. I was like, yo, that makes sense.
And I think we talked about this before. Like most of the superhero power is coming from the stones. Like
yep. All the superhero powers came from the stones, pretty much.
Scarlet Witch, she
gets her power. Vision.
His power.
The gamma radiation turns Bruce into the Hulk.
Exactly. That was a cool Captain Marvel as well.
Oh yeah, Captain Marvel's power comes from that.
That was a whole cool scene. He's like, when Hulk was saying like, yeah, this is made of, mostly gamma.
So I'm made for this. I got this.
And then it clicked in my head like, oh, another thing from the stones.
See?
This is it. So
this is how you introduce the X-Men, I think. And if they do it like, alright, so if they do this riff. So the thing with X-Men, if they bring X-Men in, are they gonna go backwards to introduce them, like put them in the past, or are they gonna say between those 5 years the X-Men exist between those 5 years?
I think go back to the 5 years, cause with the X-Men, it's a play on like kind of like a hatred towards a certain culture, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think with the way Spider-Man ended, where like, oh, you were supposed to be a good guy for us, you was a superhero, and you betrayed us, and now you got these other people that are strong and powerful, mutants. They gonna betray us also. So I think
they might
set it up.
They might look at them as the hero, as the X-Men as the heroes, and the Avengers as the villains.
Or the X-Men as the villains as well, because anybody with power now, we're putting you on that type of thing, since there's no more Avengers, pretty much. So
Marvel,
they can do a lot of things with it. I just hope they don't go back in time. I don't need it.
I think the only one that they would do that for is Fantastic Four. I feel like Fantastic Four was probably in space.
Made to go to time, because exactly, you could go to space, and it could happen in the 50s, 60s, or wherever.
And then they just
and that'll be a whole new Captain America type of thing. Like, oh, we back here. What's going on? You don't remember none of this.
Yep. And that's how. And that while they were in space, it could have just been like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I start thinking,
it has places to go.
They can go.
I think they're gonna do like maybe like a Professor X and Magneto and type of. They probably won't do the Holocaust thing again.
No, I don't think so. I think that was the one thing that the original X-Men did that was good.
Yeah.
How they portrayed the original characters, how they became who they became. I think that was good. Everything else was just.
Well, just with like 2 of them. Just with Professor X.
Yeah. Well,
so everybody else is like.
Logan was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Logan was pretty accurate, but those are the 3 that they really cared about. Everybody else is trash.
After that, it was like, whoa, like nah, that's not.
That's not Cyclops.
Nah. Yeah, that's like, no, that's not.
Punk, yo. Anyway, we talking about Spider-Man. Yo, oh man. So the rank. If we was to rank this movie from, we want to give it a letter grade.
A letter grade?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, we can't do letters. Because letters is an A.
Alright. So let's do numbers. Easy. Let's do numbers then.
Can't do
Go
numbers.
back to numbers.
It's 1 to 10. Well, nah.
What we saying then? What we saying? This movie was perfect?
Nah.
Wasn't perfect. Wasn't a perfect movie.
It wasn't perfect.
But it was, man,
It's hard to find the bad out of it, but it was great.
It was a great movie. I gave it, originally when I first saw it, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that was only because of the
That's why I thought you didn't like it.
I told you, not seeing Stan Lee is gonna be hard for me going forward, yo. Not seeing Stan Lee is gonna be hard for me going forward, yo.
I was looking in the background.
Yeah, even if I saw a little poster of him, still missing or something like that, I'd have been alright. I'd have been like, alright, 10 out of 10, right off the bat. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 9.5.
Okay.
9.5. Close to a 10. Not a perfect film, but good enough for me to get that high.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, this was a fitting end. I mean, Endgame was a fitting end to the saga. But if we're gonna end the phase,
it makes sense for this to be the phase 4.
Yeah, you know, give us a feel good movie. You know, where there's still like some
feel
level.
Good that didn't end good.
Yeah, still ain't end good. Like Spider-Man is outed, so Peter Parker can't go back to his regular life. The Skrulls have been
happy for him. Finally, he became the superhero he wanted to be. Finally, he got the girl he wanted.
And now he got more problems. Now he got more problems. Sinister Six is gonna be coming.
Yeah.
You already see them planting this. See, Sony.
That's how
this
you
is what
set
you
up
should
a
have did.
Sinister Six film, man. Like you set them up one by one. You don't just throw them all out there.
They can still do the Sinister Six. See, if Sony's still like, yo, we want to do our Sinister Six.
Do one more
Marvel's
movie.
like, yo, listen, let us set it up for y'all.
Yeah,
y'all could do y'all Sinister Six.
I mean, not doing Sinister Six just yet. Just do one more film, and then they gonna jump in.
Yeah, because now you're setting it up like, all right, we already got 3 villains right there from Sinister Six. Now we're just waiting for the rest of them. See, that's where they should go. And see, and now if they're talking about bringing J. Jonah Jameson, what's to stop him from bringing back Doc Ock? Because he's still Doc Ock. Or then again, he died.
Yeah.
He died in the movie, so we can't do that. Oh,
I don't think they're gonna have a Doc Ock. I don't know.
You gotta have Doc Ock, yo.
They're gonna do a Craven. That's what.
Oh yeah, they gotta do Craven.
They're gonna do a Craven.
Because he's gonna be hunted. He's gonna hunt him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna hunt him. That's how they're gonna set up Craven. See,
before Sinister Six, I'll just have him versus Craven. I want to see that hunt.
See, but that's
you know what?
For me, it didn't make sense at first to put Craven in, but now it makes sense for him to put him in.
I don't know no more, because the best thing about Craven, because Craven didn't know Spider-Man's identity at first.
Yeah.
And the way he figured it out, and so I don't know how they'll do it.
That part is taken out.
That part is taken away, but I still want to see it.
My mind, I'm also thinking Kingpin. You gotta introduce Kingpin now.
Well, technically they do got a Kingpin already.
Oh yeah, we do got the Kingpin from the TV.
Yeah, he was a dope Kingpin. Don't get me wrong. But
I want to see a real life. Yo, you know
like
the thing is, when
400-pound of pure muscle Kingpin.
When I saw Into the Spider-Verse, literally a day before I saw Far From Home. So I was like, Spider-Man out. Like,
you didn't see it last year?
I didn't see it last year. I couldn't see it in the movie theaters. I had personal issues. You
seen Venom, day one.
But that came out before I had my family issues. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do anything, and I wasn't gonna cheat it by watching it on bootleg. I wasn't gonna cheat it by watching it on bootleg. I was waiting for it to come out on Netflix. I was gonna watch it on my big TV downstairs. I was sitting in my chair like this, and I was like, yeah, give it all to me. And I was like, dang, yo, this movie was rocking, yo. I said, yo, if this movie wasn't if it wasn't like a cartoon, if it was a live action, it would probably be #1 for me as far as Spider-Man movies. But man, that was
from Brooklyn, man.
Yo, that was good. Into Spider-Verse was real good. I enjoyed that. But seeing that Kingpin, I want that Kingpin on the big screen. If you could do that with Juggernaut, if you could do that with the Hulk and Thanos,
definitely.
yo, you could give us a big Kingpin like that, man.
Definitely.
That's what I would love to see, man. But you know, at this point, yo, we just gotta wait. And it sucks. I don't know when's the next movie coming out.
Damn. Yeah, we don't even know.
And where do you go from here, yo? Graduation?
No clue.
Spider-Man?
No clue.
Spider-Man on the run? I don't know, man.
Would he be on the run? Guessing.
Would he?
Well, it depends. I don't know. That's what the movie left you with. Is, you don't know the situation. Usually we got like at least some clues.
We don't know.
Even with the next films, like okay, they're gonna introduce this and this. You know what? He can always go to Wakanda. He can always chill there.
He could always go to Wakanda. But what about his family? His family's in danger. His city's gonna be in danger. Somebody gotta step up. No, not.
Yeah, that's true.
Is MJ now? Is his
his friends?
Is his boy?
Yeah.
Everybody. So, you know, where do you go now?
I hope they do Craven.
They probably gonna do Craven. They gotta do Craven.
Yeah,
that gotta be the next.
Oh, so who's your score?
Oh, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Solid 9 out of 10. Solid 9 out of 10. I would even give it a 9.5 out of 10, honestly.
Nah, don't try to. You had your opportunity, you chose not.
You're right. Solid 9 out of 10, yo.
Best Spider-Man film?
Best Spider-Man film right now to date. Best Spider-Man film overall. Yes, I would say best.
List them real quick.
Alright, so don't. Alright. Spider-Man. Spider-Man Far From Home. That's #1.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2 is #2. Homecoming. No, actually, I'm gonna include Into the Spider-Verse in this.
Okay.
In this list. So
nah, don't do that.
Don't do that?
Yeah,
alright, so
that's gonna mess up my that's gonna mess up your list. That's gonna mess up my list.
Alright, so Spider-Man Homecoming, that's number 3.
Gotcha. So far, yeah.
Alright, 1, 2, and 3. Venom is 4.
Alright guys, so that was our speculations, that was our grades that we got.
Venom is 4.
You still...
The first Spider-Man is number 5. Amazing Spider-Man. Honestly,
I like
the
Amazing
first
Spider-Man
and Amazing
better.
Spider-Man are neck and neck for me.
Like
they interchange.
Spider-Man
It depends on how I feel. The last one on the list is Amazing Spider-Man 2. That movie.
Amazing Spider-Man 1.
And wait, no, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the last movie. Spider-Man 3 was second to last. That's my list.
Agreed.
That's my list.
I got Venom. Like
so what's your whole list then? First.
Well, I start from the ending. So,
alright.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Venom, if you including that. Then Spider-Man 1. I didn't really like Spider-Man 1. The original Spider-Man? It is what it is. It was
yeah.
Then Homecoming, Spider-Man 2, Far From Home.
There you go.
Spider-Man 2 had that great train scene that solidified the movie. Dr. Octopus was
at that point was the best Spider-Man.
Even the graphics on that was amazing. With Dr. Ox and how his arms work, that was amazing. So
it made sense. Even when he learned how to control it, and he was like, "Listen to me," and man, that was just dope. Yo, that was dope. I enjoyed it. But yeah, man, that's our review. You know, tell us what you think. If you thought the same things we thought, if you hated this movie, if you thought this movie wasn't good enough to follow up Endgame, no movie is going to be good enough to follow up an Avengers movie. You just need a movie that's going to continue the story thread and get you coming back for more. And that's what Iron Man. Spider-Man. I still got Iron Man on the brain, man. He's dead. He's dead. I gotta let him die. I hope they let him rest in peace, man. Tony, you did good. Robert Downey Jr., you did great. It's time for you to rest, so just rest, alright? But everything else, this movie was awesome. We loved it, obviously. Go out there and see it if you haven't seen it already. Let us know what you think. Comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification button so you can know when we drop new stuff. Speaking of which, you ready for Joker?
Like, share, subscribe. Yeah.